then. And I wasn't even familiar with this game. I'm not even sure how popular. I think it's 598, 59 home runs this guy's average. So like right there, I knew that was going to be a foul ball by the swing I took. I took it because I thought there was a chance, but the swing I took, I knew it was going to be a foul ball. You know, like, and that's how you know games just get it right. And it's a shame that they don't make more, at least arcade games like this. I don't think you always necessarily need the MLB license per se to succeed. I think if you released a game like this with a little more updates as far as customization, maybe online play, strong online play, put a good online code on it, and it will sell. This will sell in the arcade. I would pay $20 for this game. Maybe with a little bit upgraded graphics, same camera angle, same idea. It doesn't have to be super polygons. Give me some hand-drawn sprites. Give me some more animations. But more than that, give me this solid gameplay, this solid control system, the scheme that just works. You know, like it's easy to pick up and difficult to master. One of those deals. But one of those games. This is definitely one of those games that you can hand a controller to somebody who has a clue. And although it's a Super Nintendo game and there are 6 buttons or whatever, which I don't even know if the bumpers even do anything in this game. But in the end, this is the swing button, this is the throw button, this is the pitch button. Play the game. You know, and that's kind of what made RBI fun, and this is like RBI to the umph level. This is RBI if you want to get deep into the stat game, play a full season, have stat tracking. Pitchers get tired, as you can see this guy's getting tired. There's also different, as far as the pitching is concerned, there's different, get this ground ball here. Pitchers throw the ball differently. There are submarine pitchers. There's all sorts of stuff. There's base stealers. There's, it's just, it's insane that these companies these days, and I wonder who even, Culture Brain made this. I don't even know if they're around anymore. I don't know if somebody could go out and pick this game up, but if you release this game exactly the same as it is right now, for $5 on Xbox Live Arcade or PSN Network, or if there's a way to download it, or something to that effect, and this is where I think Nintendo has it wrong. And I know there's licensing issues and things like that, but how much could it possibly cost to buy this license and do very little with it? Put net code on. You can see my pitch is all stressed out. He's getting a little tired. He's getting rattled, and that's what's cool in this game. Guys get rattled. But how difficult could it be, and how big of a risk is it? That's my fault. That's on me there. To put a game like this back out with multiplayer, like I'm not even talking about having a full season, with multiple people. Oh, this guy just rocked me. I'm just talking about straight up here. One-on-one versus somebody else. Maybe not league play, but if you want to throw that in, that's great. How many programmers could you possibly take? Maybe 3 to try to get some netcode going and maybe get a league play going, and then just like this. I don't need the New York Yankees in this team. Let me make my own team, and that was the charm of these older games. Was that I wasn't playing with the Yankees. I was playing with the Ultra whatever or whatever. If I wanted to try to make a team like the Yankees, I could. With the player editor team or the team edit options. But a lot of times I wouldn't even do that. I kind of dug playing with these imaginary guys and getting to know your different players. It was almost RPG-like. You'd get to say, like after a while, like this guy Robin's my leadoff hitter. Like I would get to know his tendencies. Like, it's some kind of crazy RPG element that would come to these games that you would kind of the nuances of your different hitters, the different batting stances, what your specific players could do, and it was fun. And one game, they run quick, 15 minutes, you bang out a game. So with an hour, you've got a good 4 or 5 games in your season. You go through some winning streaks, some losing streaks, you make some adjustments. I think there's a lot more to offer than graphics, and this is a good example of a game that. At the time, even at the time for the Super Nintendo, this wasn't the flashiest game, but it just played so well. It made sense. The controls made sense. Everything about it was simple and somewhat intuitive. Now, the creative player mode wasn't so intuitive, and if you weren't familiar with some of the power-ups and things like that, but that's where the community would come in, because back then we didn't have the internet. You kind of had to go to your friend's house and say, check this out. You know, a game like this would have a booklet that was probably 80 pages thick, which was also kind of cool back then. When you opened up that cartridge and you saw the book, you're like, oh. All right, let me check out what my pitches are here. All right, this leaf pitch, watch what this thing does. It kind of floats. It turns into a leaf. And this guy's already taken he's already taken 5 swings at this pitch. Strike one. But back then, before the internet, you kind of had to find things out by asking your friends and figuring it out on your own. Let me try this one. This is I guess, I don't even know what that was. Some kind of mad ball came out of my arm there. I think this is just a straight up fastball. Boom, the thing disappeared. Oh my goodness. See, now all these things you're seeing aren't glitches. This game is not glitching out. These are just the different power-ups that happen. But I would love to see a game like this. I mean, that's why the RBI Baseball was just announced to getting released this spring, and it's being made by MLB Baseball. And then, what is this thing? He just broke my bat in half. You saw that? You can still hit this pitch, though. Don't get me wrong. You actually make contact with it and hit it. I should show you a batter power-up. You know, this guy actually hits. All right. Let me try power up with this guy Gus. I think this is the bomb ball I was telling you about earlier. That if I hit somebody, it like explodes. But that's why people are so excited about RBI Baseball, because it's a quick pick up and play game that you can kind of just get into and play, and it's fun. You know, it's not so much about options and crazy camera angles and having every facial scan and all that nonsense. RBI Baseball, you kind of used your imagination, because every player looked the same. They didn't even have different batting stances. It was just a name and some stats. And in your mind, you knew that was Reggie Jackson, or that was Dallas Strawberry, or that was whoever, you know, up at bat. And it's kind of the same with this game. And that's what I think some of these companies are forgetting. And that's the charm that Nintendo has still to this day. Is that you don't need the best. You don't necessarily always need the best graphical games. It's the gameplay, you know, and that's where Nintendo's dropping the balls. They're kind of putting their fans on the string. You know, their fans are there buying these consoles, waiting for these games to come out. These well-playing games that just control tight, and they're waiting on nothing. Oh man, first pitch bomb. But back to like I was saying, this game still has a strong following. I wish I had the website off hand. But if you do a Google search, you'll see it. There are people that have modded this game to the point that they've actually taken the ROM and I'm not saying this is right or wrong to do. But they've taken this game and actually added current MLB rosters to it, with uniforms and everything. Unfortunately, you can't fit the entire league, but you can like kind of pick and choose which teams, depending on which version of the ROM you download, to include, which is pretty cool. But I kind of dig this. I kind of dig, you know, having pitching against Bart in this Ultra League. You know, who the hell's Bart? And after a while, you start playing. What's cool about it is you start playing enough games against these other teams that you start getting familiar with the players on the other teams. These made-up dudes, and I kind of like that aspect of it. Kind of like baseball stars. Like I can pretty much rattle off. Just my memory might be a little bit off. Oh, this guy. But that was a power-up he just did. You see that hit? All right, let's see what this guy has. Try this pitch. I have no idea what I just did. What is it? I have no idea what that pitch did, the stop pitch, but there's a GameFAQs out there that explains a lot of these pitches. That's all I have is stop. I don't know what that. All right, we're doing. All right, now he just did a power up too, for speed or something. Now he's running like the Flash. Now you see right there, like that's the charm of the game, that you don't automatically switch to a fielder. You kind of got to judge who you're kind of controlling two fielders at once. Let me see what this guy's power-up is. I have no idea what I just did. His power-up. Let's try it again. Let me actually hit the ball. Okay, if I remember correctly, I think that power-up's better when you're doing versus against somebody. I think that one actually reverses the controls for the other team. Let's see what this pitch does. And see how I'm spamming these power-ups? Remember earlier when I was choosing the teams? And then they got to that ultra screen that gave you, it was no limit or a certain amount of points. If you see when I hit it, that takes up 4. If I get a hit with this thing, and you see what that power-up did? Just screwed up the whole screen, made everything wacky, but they're still gonna make a play. That's better against. That power-up is better against when you're playing 2v2. I mean, versus somebody 1v1. But there's a limited amount of points you can use. So every time I use one of these power-ups, it's taken away from that total. I'm trying to see where on the screen that total shows. I'm sure it's somewhere. Let's see. I guess it's at number 230. See which says Amos 230. I think that's how much. Let's see. I'll try to use this and see if it actually. Yeah, 221. So that took away 9. Okay, so now I have 221 left in the game. But what would happen is, like, if you wanted to really be challenging with your friends when you play this in a 1-versus-1 game, you would set the limit to like maybe 150. So you kind of had to conserve how often you would use those power-ups, and when in the game it would make, God, these guys are rocking me. When in the game you would actually choose to use them. So it was pretty cool. It was an arcadey thing, but it was something different that you didn't see before. And you didn't have to use it. You played in, even if you played in the Ultra League, you didn't have to use the Ultras. And if you didn't want that and you wanted to play a more traditional version of baseball, there was the two other leagues. But I just want to get a quick game of this in, and I'm going to start putting more streams up of some of these older games I really never had a chance to play. Maybe I should practice more, because I'm getting my ass handed to me right now, 11-2. It's a little more difficult to talk and play these sports games than you think, believe it or not. Alright, there we go. Gotta pay attention here. Oh, I didn't get that? I was looking at the shadow like an idiot. Alright. But I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna try to do a franchise of this again, kind of like what I did with Baseball Stars. Maybe make a team, throw some guys on there. Some of my buddies that I play games with now. Do a little bit of that. I kind of want to. Oh man, this guy just hit a moon. Oh, he missed it. That thing he hit, that power P used was like, is like the moonshot power up. But I want to get a franchise going with some of my guys, and maybe if anybody else is watching, or if you end up. I know there are people watching these streams because I look at the stats on my Twitch page. So if you send me a message, I'll throw you in the game. You start running out of names. I mean, you gotta field the full team of 26. All right, this is a leaf power. What does this do? Uh-oh. Bang! What was that? I didn't know what that was. It just stopped. Can I take second on him? I have no idea what just happened there. But it's one of the power-ups of the game. Let's see what this one does. Missiles. This guy's still throwing. Just broke my bat. So every time I use it, I think... Alright, so you actually have to make contact. Oh, no, yeah, you actually got to take a swing. And it takes the points away, so... Bring in a sub. This guy, I want to get a hit with this bomb because I want to show you what happens. He actually fielded it. Basically, it explodes like if it hits a player and they kind of drop it. Alright, this guy's tired. Let's bring in Max. Let's see what this. I want to see what this B does. Ah, hit the wrong button. What is that? Is that like a bat? What does this do? No idea what that was. Let's try it again. Does it slow down? You know what that does? Let's see what else he's got.